Hi Gemini, welcome to your August 2020 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what the month ahead has in store for you. Wrong deck. All right, so for your actions and interactions with the world at large this month, you get, all right, that feels good, the Temperance card. This is actually, in this card, it's called the She, which is the kind of like the fae folk, effectively, and you know, she's the temperance mistress there. She's the alchemy elf, so to speak. And this is your, you know, in your actions, this is what you're doing. So in a lot of ways, this is about you really delving into your spirituality. It looks like you are really going through your lives at the moment to ask yourself, what is it that I really am making space for? A lot of you could really start to, I mean, in terms of relationships, this might really highlight to you where you make excuses for somebody else's bad behavior, where you, you know, where maybe you turn a blind eye where you know you shouldn't. This could be coming up for you this month, because the thing is, sometimes when something enters our lives, we kind of have to look at what it is that we, you know, if it's something that we don't like or something that we don't enjoy, you know, an experience that we hate, the question always has to be, what am I doing to allow this to enter my life? What is it that I am contributing here that allows this to kind of perpetuate? Now, because this is your actions and your interactions, this is also about you going through the process of spiritual alchemy. This is about you asking yourself, what is it that I am projecting outwards? What is it that I am, you know, what is it that I'm making space for in my life in terms of people, places, experiences? You know, what is it that I'm doing that is creating this experience? Now, as a what's to come for the month of August, it looks like a lot of you are really going through that process of getting, you know, getting your sleeves rolled up and getting stuck in. This is about you doing the work, but it's doing the work of doing the work of observation. This is about you really paying attention to things. So, you know, Geminis are very smart anyway. You guys are very intelligent. You have a really good mind. But this month, it looks like you're really trying to use that mind to get a good handle or a good understanding of why the things that are happening around you are happening. But you're doing this in a very practical sense. For your money and materials, you've got the Sun card. Wow. So look at that. Money looks good this month. The finances are boosting. It looks like a lot of you are working very hard on what feels like a personal business, if I'm completely honest with you. It feels like there's something that you're creating. Maybe this is a new batch of something. Maybe it's a course of some sort that you're hoping to offer. Maybe it is... yeah, you know, maybe it's a course of something that you're hoping to offer. Maybe it's, I mean, it could be any number of things, but this looks like you are really putting foot to the pedal. You put a foot to the, you're really putting foot to the pedal, and the pedal to the metal to make things happen, right? Which is great. Because you've got the Sun card, it suggests that all of that hard work, the results that you get from it are monetary. They're finances. Your finances are blessed this month, but they're also being highlighted here. And with what we talked about with the Temperance card, one thing that you might find this month is it's highlighted to you where you overspend in regards to somebody else. So what is your responsibility versus where you kind of assume responsibility for somebody else? So that could be, you know, the other side of this that comes up. But on a personal level, your finances are blessed this month. When it comes to your health, health looks good, right? Especially here with the Temperance card, because that can represent a healing journey. And it looks like a lot of the work that you've been doing, maybe you've been working out for some time, maybe you have been, watching what you eat, maybe you've cut out all of the toxins, stimulants and all the rest of it. This month, you could really be feeling the results of that. You could have a lot of vitality, a lot of energy. You could be feeling just so much better. One thing with that Temperance card next to the Sun card as well, if there is something that you feel is either undone or unfinished, this is the month to see it through. For your, come on brain, home and environment, this is great. It also tells me as well that a lot of you will be planning travel this month. Maybe not necessarily taking the travel, but you will be planning travel this month, and it looks like you're going somewhere really nice. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Swords. So it's interesting that I said if there's anything left undone, it looks like you are going to have quite a challenging conversation this month. But the thing is, because it's next to the Sun card, it's kind of saying if you have the guts to go in and have this conversation, the result will be great, right? The reward from it will be absolutely brilliant. Now, it might not bring you a financial reward. It might just bring you a moral reward. It might just bring you a peace of mind or a peace of conscience, which is great. It looks like it's going to be quite a challenging conversation though. And remember with the Two of Swords energy to me, because twos are always about connections, collaborations, partnerships of some sort, right? But the Two of Swords is usually more of an opposition kind of energy. This sees, you having to butt heads before you reach that kind of happy medium. So this is why I say you're going to have that challenging conversation this month. For your heart and half, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, right? This is beautiful. An earth sign woman, Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo, or it could be an earth sign man. It could also be an earth sign non-binary person, but as a general rule of thumb, I think you guys have known me long enough by now. I never mean anything by it. I want to make sure that everybody feels included, and and anyway, I'm digressing. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. For those of you that are single, it looks like you're very much more focused on your money this month. It could be that you're trying to figure out whether you really want to add anybody to the mix at this moment in time, and I feel like the reason for that is because you're kind of very settled in what you have, what you've built, what you've achieved, and it's kind of like, do I really want to rock the boat by adding somebody else? Rock the boat, baby. Showing my age now. Well, I was like 4 when that song came out. If I was even, I don't know how old it is, but you get my point. For those of you that are partnered, it does look like you guys are looking at the budget, or you are doing some sort of financial digging. And again, because in some way you might be seeing here where maybe you're assuming responsibility for your partner's finances, or maybe they're not necessarily carrying their own weight. It is something that you're going to have to raise. Maybe that's the difficult conversation that you're having to have. Or maybe it's a parent, somebody that you have to parent even though you're the child, So let's have a look at your weeks of the month. So this week, for the first week, you get the Emperor underneath the Temperance card. So really, interestingly enough, I didn't see this come up previously, but I do see some sort of journey to a hospital this month. You've got the Emperor card, the institution. You've got the Temperance card, which can sometimes be a healing journey, or healing medics, doctors, nurses, people that work in the healing profession. I am seeing a trip to the hospital this month. Interestingly enough, though, I don't think it's for you. I thought this healing journey might be for you, but it's not. This is for somebody else. I feel like this first week of the month, the first week of August, you may very well have to take a trip to the hospital, but it's not for you. It's for somebody that you love, somebody that you care about. I don't see anything scary here so far. So don't panic. If you get called to the hospital, or somebody has to go to the hospital, just take it for what it is in that moment. For your second week of the month, you've got the Hanged Man. So yeah, look at that, right? The Hanged Man can sometimes, in its unconscious expression, can talk about martyrdom. Where is it that you are assuming too much responsibility for what somebody else should be doing for themselves, especially on a financial level? So this week, this second week of the month could highlight this for you. Somebody might say to you, oh, you know, can you give me money for A, B, and C? And you'll be like, you know, maybe you won't say anything overtly, but inside you could be thinking to yourself, hang on a sec, you know, everything that we need is kind of covered. Why is it that I'm, you know, having to constantly shell out to give you or to assist you financially? So my advice to you, don't let it fester. Call it when you see it. That way that feeling isn't going to be magnified, and then it doesn't turn into, you know, a blown up screaming match like you can avoid all of that by just speaking up when you feel the need. All right, your third week of the month. I was laughing because just recently I read for a client yesterday, and she said she's really sort of clear cut, and she always says to me, no, Raf, come on, you know, it's me. You can be, just give it to me straight. Tell me how it is. And I really like that about her. But she said, you know, I've told lots of my friends about you. And she said, like, some of them have come and they've absolutely loved it. But there's one or two that haven't come because she said, you know, he doesn't mess about. He's just going to, you know, I get it. Sometimes I can be quite not brutal, but you know, you guys know me, right? I tell you how it is. So your Chariot card for the third week is right underneath the Two of Swords. That's nice, because what it suggests is what I said to you earlier. By having this challenging conversation when it arises, by looking at this difficult thing that needs to be healed or needs to be adjusted, by asking yourself, what did I do to feed into this or to create it, you can really free up that energy. And the Chariot card says that the outcome will be successful. It will be one that's happy for both of you. Might get a little bit rocky during the conversation, but it's worth having, right? Especially if it heals something or mends something in the long run. Your fourth week of the month, you have the World card. So this Queen of Pentacles that's coming in or is assisting you in some way, shape or form when it comes to your love life, this could be somebody that you are either helping constantly, or it could also be a it could be somebody that, for those of you that are single, somebody that introduces you to a partner. And then going back to this, if you have an earth sign woman, an older, because it's the World card, an older earth sign woman that is, you know, maybe a bit poorly, you may end up having to take that hospital trip. Now, the other thing that I want to mention here as well, because the World card is Saturn ruled, this is very likely to be a Capricornian. Someone that is, you know, has Capricorn energy or is of that sign. For those of you that are single, yeah, I mean, there is definitely a change of status coming for you. I feel like it will be like literally right at the end of the month where you do meet somebody and you align with them. For those of you that are partnered, something about your relationship is having to change or evolve. And if it doesn't, it may very well start to cause resentment and bitterness later on. Remember, we're still in 2020 and we're still under the influence. No matter how far apart they are, we are still under the influence of that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. We've already had now at this point 2 Pluto conjunct Jupiters. We've got one more to come at the end of this year. Pluto conjunct Jupiter. We've still got another one of those to come. And then on top of that, we've got the great conjunction of Jupiter conjunct Saturn, which is going to take place right at the start of Aquarius at the end of this year. So we've got some heavy stuff happening in the astrology this year. So, and I said this right at the beginning for all signs, what is stable will make it. What has cracks in its foundation this year will come to an end. I've seen this on a personal level. So, you know, I'm not saying this like, you know, it's not like that. I'm just stating, you know, as it is. For your key to the month, you've got the Knight of Swords. And I see this very much as a Gemini energy. So I kind of feel like this works in an opposite way for you guys, this card. For most people, I kind of say to them, you know what, take your time, don't rush anything. But it kind of looks like whatever you're initiating or starting this month, it will have far-reaching ripples, but it is what you need to do. So trust your gut, trust yourself, trust your your psyche, when you get moved or pulled in a certain direction and you feel to just go for it, follow that nudge, follow that internal hunch, all right? It can only take you to where you're supposed to be. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.